Hello, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna, and it's kind of a mashup today. We're doing the next big thing, adding large elements to your scrapbook, and then also series 16, Chrissy's Beautiful Life in Her 30 Days of Sketches. The sketch is by Terry Rice. Um, I say mashup because Series 16 is actually the one from back in, I believe, October of last year. We just had Series 17 that just finished up. The next big thing is with Shannon. She started this. There will be a playlist for the next big thing down below. I started with Terry's sketch and tried to make myself a triangle, and it came out a little bit different, but I went with it instead. I went with it anyway. I have this birthday candle paper from my stash, and so I'm using that for all the pattern paper like Terry has in her sketch. The embellishments that I have are from P13. It's from 2019. I did fussy cut them all out. The photos I have are of from September 2024. My husband and I's birthdays are 3 days apart, although he is 362 days older than myself. And so I turned 53, he turned 54. That's important in a minute when I start stamping. Believe it or not, I don't think we've ever done like a combined cake, which sounds totally silly. Usually, and well, in fact, even this time, he usually makes me like an apple crisp for dessert because I really that would be my pick over cake. And he did make that because he didn't know the girls were getting us a cake. Okay, this is a Tim Holtz stamp, and I don't put it on a black. I'm trying to kind of give it a mixed media look, and I'm just kind of looks like bubble wrap. I'm kind of just putting it all over my paper. I'm very careful at first, and then I get going. I'm using Tattered Rose Distress Oxide for that. And then I get these close to my heart um, stamps out, and I will grab a couple different colors. I took the 5 and the 4 and the 3, and at first I just thought I'd mix them all up. The 3 I am stamping in Festive Berries Distress Oxide, but I end up deciding that they're going to have 54s and 53s, and I'm just being random, and I don't put a super lot on. Uh, with the 4, I use Prize Ribbon Distress Oxide. So I'm going to get a couple of those on there. Now, this is kind of to show you how to do random stamping. You kind of go in a triangle. I know the 3s didn't go in a triangle. The 4s go on a triangle on the right, triangle on the left, and then you kind of stamp close to the the last stamp you did. So the 4s are going to go kind of by the 3s. Um, to start making clusters, and that's how you would make a pattern paper. You just start filling it up with different stamps. I hope that makes sense. Please ask if you have any questions about that. Okay, so the 5 is going to go in Mode Lawn, Distress Oxide, and you can see here where I'm getting the 54s and the 53s. And once I get everything on, you will barely see them. But usually I'm pretty much more of a planner, but oh, look at how beautifully I just went over the top of that 5. Isn't that great? I usually plan out really, but I just kind of I was very putsy today. I couldn't get just anything started with this layout. I need to get it done, so I'm just like, okay, jump in, go for it, and I'll show you how I make it work in a second. Oh, I also take fossilized amber. This is a Hip Kit stamp. I'm not as happy with this stamp, and maybe because I should have taken it off the block and done it like I did the Tim Holtz stamp. But again, I'm covering most of it up, so you won't see most of it. And I do second generation stamping too, which means when you stamp it off the first time, it's first generation. If you go back in without re-inking, that would be second generation. You can go third generation, etc. So I will bring the photos back in. This is in our formal dining room, which we don't often use, but the funny thing about this is that you can see the bright red walls. We've lived here for about 16 years. Right when we moved in, we painted it red, and just now in April, it's painted gray. So it's kind of toned it down. It actually made the room look bigger. I guess maybe it was more cozy with the red, so we no longer have this red wall. I miss the color, but it was time for a change. Okay, once I got these photos done, you can see I have like 153, 154. That big photo is really shifted left of where it should be, but I wanted to see the 153. I will adhere down these patterned pieces of paper. The sketch has the big 8x10 on the left side. It's got 5 like 3x4s on the right. I had one extra one. I really wasn't sure what to do. I was really trying to figure out which photo I wanted to get rid of, but I really liked sneaking this up in the left upper corner. So that was my solution to get one more photo on. I went off camera and got all the pictures adhered down except for that extra one in the left upper corner. I do want to mat that. And I'm going to bring my embellishments in, and you can see how I kind of move things around trying to figure out the best way to fit these in. Um, the other thing is I would at first I don't feel like I was paying attention to which direction they were actually looking. So I might switch them around to make sure they're all looking in toward the center of the page. And at first I'm just trying to put the embellishments where the florals were on Terry's sketch, but then um oh, like on the upper, I didn't want to cover up the 53, so then I moved one of the clusters down, and I just added a lot more pieces thinking I've got these embellishments, I want to use them. So here now the cat on the left is looking into the page. I'm trying to figure out what can go right next to Eliza that it's not going to cover her up. But yet I want to keep things over by the cake and I don't want to cover that up. When I was picking out colors for the 54 and the background and all that, I really was looking at the pattern paper, and the pattern paper is pretty close to the embellishments, but not quite. And I should have probably been paying more attention to the colors of the embellishments rather than to the background paper, but it all works out in the end. I then go off camera to adhere everything down. And here I pull out, those are like tags from the same collection. I could have used those, but I've already got it all sorted out, so I leave it the way it is on the layout. And then I just try to figure out what do I want for my layout. I find this party time, which also coordinates with this let's celebrate. It's a little bit off from the colors, but not enough that I'm worried about it. It has like an extra light blue in it. The green is a little bit darker, things like that. So I'm going to use those two things. I discovered that I didn't glue down the embellishments in the right cluster, so those are going to get glued down. That happy birthday sticker on the bottom there is a creative memories sticker. There's a couple of them there, and that was one of my considerations. Um, in the sketch, there's like kind of like a long title going along that pattern paper on the top left. Uh, but I just wasn't sure about the colors there. Um, I really like this Let's Celebrate, so I'm going to move it over to the left page, and then I'm trying to figure out, it just doesn't, I don't know, to me it doesn't look right with the title sitting there, so I move the photo over next to that scary looking rabbit, and then I will back it on white cardstock, and then it looks like it belongs there, kind of like, nestles in, and the three of those things are a cluster, and then the celebrate can still be up on top. It actually is going to cover up, my husband's hanging on to his glasses as he's kind of um, in the picture there. So it goes over the picture, it covers up his glasses that he has in his hand, and I like the placement of that. The last thing I will do is use the fossilized amber spray, and I will put some splatters on here, and that will be the finishing touch for me. Make sure to check below for the playlist for the next big thing. There will be a prompt each month. So this month was use a big picture, which I certainly did. Thank you, Terry Royce, for the great sketch that you have here that worked so perfectly. And otherwise, until next time, may your memories always have a home on paper.